The girl bit a rabbit to death. Then she threw the corpse onto her brother. Kenji did not get angry. Instead, he wiped the blood from the corner of the girl's mouth with his hand, because he was deeply afraid of the sister standing in front of him. The sister's name was Nayuta. She had a pair of demon horns growing from her head. Her mother died the moment she was born. 10 years ago, people shouted that Nayuta should be killed, because all the prophets declared that a girl with demon horns would destroy the world. Nayuta had never been able to speak since childhood, nor could she communicate with others, so those who believed in the prophecy began gathering in protest, demanding that Nayuta be put to death. Fortunately, this was an age ruled by law and science. The police temporarily suppressed the unrest, but Nayuta's family was trapped inside their home, afraid to step outside. Her father did not believe in the prophecy. He believed Nayuta was just an ordinary child, a child her mother had carried for 10 months and given birth to. Kenji did not know whether he should believe those prophecies, but he knew one thing for certain: he would protect his sister, because no matter what, they were family. But the next day, their father died downstairs. His death caused the restless crowd to disperse. Only then were Kenji and his sister able to return to a normal life. But life was far from good. Kenji dropped out of school and started working, yet because he was Nayuta's brother, he was fired again. He walked down the street in frustration, hoping to buy something, but his wallet was already empty. Before he could even feel sad, he heard unrest rising from the crowd again. The same people who had believed in the prophecy 10 years ago had returned. Just like before, they gathered in public, shouting that Nayuta must be killed. Even when government officials stepped in to stop them, they still firmly believed Nayuta would destroy the world. Kenji stood among the crowd, his heart heavy. In the 10 years he had spent with his sister, he had seen her twist off the heads of rats, seen her dismember dogs, and even eat these animals raw. Kenji could not understand Nayuta's behavior. He thought that perhaps his sister really would destroy the world. But even so, he would still protect Nayuta. Having made up his mind, Kenji returned home, but the moment he arrived, he saw Nayuta eating a sparrow alive. Although Kenji had witnessed scenes like this countless times, he was still frightened by Nayuta's actions. Suddenly, Nayuta threw the sparrow toward him. Kenji felt helpless. He could only tell his sister that killing small animals was wrong, and that humans should not eat raw meat. So Nayuta put down the sparrow, picked up her chopsticks, and waited for dinner. She had already been very hungry, otherwise, she would not have eaten the sparrow. Nayuta had an enormous appetite. Kenji often gave her his own portion as well. Nayuta often said strange things, but Kenji never understood what she meant. Although Nayuta appeared extremely violent, she had one hobby, that was reading books. Her favorite food was popsicles, so eating a popsicle while reading was the most comfortable thing for her. But Kenji told her that he had lost his job again, and that they probably would not be able to eat popsicles anymore. Late at night, Kenji looked at his sleeping sister. He truly wanted to know what was going on inside her mind. They could not communicate. Only occasionally could Nayuta understand what Kenji said. Before long, Kenji fell asleep, but Nayuta was gone. It turned out that Nayuta had understood that Kenji had been fired. She went to a farm and used magic to kill a group of cows. The next morning, when Kenji woke up, he found piles of cow carcasses at the doorstep. People were gathered around, watching. Kenji was stunned. He told Nayuta to stay home and eat breakfast, while he went to apologize to the farm owner. The villagers believed Nayuta was dangerous. If she could use magic to kill cows this time, then next time she could use magic to kill people. Kenji knew that if this continued, Nayuta would definitely be taken away by the police. He begged the villagers humbly for forgiveness, and promised that he would keep a close watch on Nayuta. This time, the villagers let Nayuta go, but they warned Kenji, Nayuta had no humanity, and one day, she would cause even greater trouble. Kenji knew better than anyone how terrifying Nayuta could be, but Nayuta was his sister, and he had to protect her. For the sake of making a living, Kenji had no choice but to take on even more exhausting work, and Nayuta continued to stay home and read. She read while drawing at the same time. Scenes of her brother teaching her often flashed through her mind. Kenji always taught her that she was a girl, that she must not hurt small animals, and that she must not eat raw meat. What Kenji didn't know was that every word he said, Nayuta understood perfectly. Nayuta looked at the book, writing and drawing as she read. In the end, she finished. It turned out she wasn't drawing at all. She was writing. On the paper, she wrote the words, "I'm sorry." The reason Nayuta loved reading was because she was learning how to write, and she did have emotions. Soon, Kenji came home, but he was completely exhausted, so exhausted that he staggered as he walked. Nayuta wanted to show concern for her brother, but Kenji couldn't understand what she said. Kenji simply comforted her with a few words. Then he lay down on the bed and fell asleep. Nayuta looked at her brother, collapsed from exhaustion, and her thoughts drifted to the villagers. Those people had killed their father, and they had made her brother suffer so much. So Nayuta decided to take revenge. Early the next morning, Nayuta appeared among the crowd. Sharp swords began emerging from the ground one after another. Then they slowly floated up into the air. Her eyes instantly turned purple. On the other side, Kenji had just woken up, and then he saw a pig's head placed on the table. Beside it was a note. It read, "I'm sorry, eat more." That pig's head was Nayuta's breakfast for him. Only then did Kenji realize, every time Nayuta threw a corpse at him, she was sharing her food with him, just like how Kenji always gave his own portion to Nayuta. Kenji rushed out of the house, but he saw countless flying swords in the sky. Just like in the prophecy, it looked exactly like the end of the world. All of it was being controlled by Nayuta's magic. From Nayuta's mouth, words poured out that no one could understand, but from her tone, it was clear she was furious. People scattered and fled in panic. The government dispatched special forces. They opened fire on Nayuta, but every bullet was knocked down by her flying swords. So the government sent in tanks to suppress her, but the tanks were destroyed by Nayuta's swords. People were terrified and fled in all directions, yet one person ran straight toward Nayuta. That person was Kenji. At that moment, the enraged Nayuta stopped. He scolded her, asking what if she hurt someone. Nayuta burst into tears like a wronged child. When she threw herself into Kenji's arms, Kenji finally understood. Nayuta, like any other child, was just an ordinary child, a child who would cry when she felt wronged, even as the surrounding crowd continued shouting to kill Nayuta. Kenji told them that Nayuta was his sister, and he would not let anyone hurt her. Although what Nayuta did today went a bit too far. She hadn't hurt a single person. That proved her nature wasn't evil. She must have only wanted to scare everyone. He also promised everyone that he would properly discipline his sister. After saying that, he carried Nayuta on his back and left. Later, Kenji took Nayuta to an uninhabited area. He decided to live there. For now, Nayuta wouldn't be able to eat her favorite ice cream. At that moment, Nayuta suddenly asked Kenji if he was afraid of her. Kenji answered without hesitation that he wasn't, because Nayuta was his most adorable little sister. Toshihide always skipped school, but his father never interfered or cared. After that, Toshihide would go to the seaside. Then he would dive straight into the ocean. Gradually, he discovered that he could hold his breath underwater for a very long time, and it was this special ability that led him to discover a piano on the seafloor. He came every day to play it, because whenever he played that piano, he would always think of his mother, even though he had never seen her. Today, while he was completely absorbed in playing, without realizing it, he noticed a mermaid peeking at him. Startled, Toshihide accidentally inhaled water and passed out. Seeing this, the mermaid immediately rushed over, but she didn't eat Toshihide. Instead, she held him and swam toward the shore. Looking at the drowning Toshihide, the mermaid did not hesitate and began giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Toshihide soon woke up. It was his first time seeing a mermaid. Toshihide was very scared, but aside from the fear, he also felt that the mermaid was actually kind of cute. Through conversation, Toshihide learned that the mermaid's name was Shirju. She told him that she secretly listened to him play the piano every day. As they talked more and more, the two of them became friends. From that point on, Toshihide continued to skip school every day. Then he jumped into the sea to teach Shirju how to play the piano. But as a human, Toshihide couldn't stay underwater for long, so they would chat by the shore instead. No matter the wind or rain, Toshihide went to the seaside every day, but his father seemed to already know about what he was doing. Toshihide, however, didn't think much of it. He continued teaching Shirju how to play the piano every day. He even thought about teaching Shirju piano while lying in bed at night. One day, Toshihide brought Shirju a piece of bread. Shirju really liked it. She even said to Toshihide, "If you bring me a piece of bread every day, I won't eat you." In the days that followed, Toshihide continued teaching Shirju piano every day. Shiryu's playing improved more and more, and the relationship between the two of them grew closer. Toshihide was no longer afraid of Shiryu. Every time he saw her, his chest felt warm, so he gathered his courage and confessed his feelings to Shiryu. But just at that moment, a shark swam over. It viciously bit into Toshihide's leg, and the strong scent of blood triggered Shiryu's bloodthirsty instincts. She bit off Toshihide's ear in a single bite. Fortunately, a fishing boat passed by and saved Toshihide. From that day on, Toshihide never went to the seaside again. Whenever he thought of Shiryu from that day, all that remained was fear. But one day, his father unexpectedly showed concern for Toshihide. In Toshihide's memory, ever since his mother passed away, his father had always been numb and indifferent. His father told Toshihide that the piano in the sea actually belonged to his mother. Only then did Toshihide realize, so his mother had been a mermaid. No wonder he could hold his breath underwater for so long. Toshihide couldn't help but ask his father if he had been afraid of his mother. His father replied that he was afraid. There was even a time when she attacked him after smelling blood, but he still loved her, because every time he saw her smile, his chest would feel warm. Toshihide understood. This was exactly how he felt about Shiryu. Even though he was afraid of Shiryu as a mermaid, he was even more afraid of never seeing her again. So Toshihide jumped into the sea without hesitation. But at that moment, Shiryu had been imprisoned by the mermaid clan's village chief. Because the mermaid clan had long forbidden harming humans, Shiryu wanted to explain herself, but the village chief wouldn't listen at all. She believed Shiryu only wanted to eat humans. Left with no choice, Shiryu forcefully broke out of the prison. She wanted to go ashore to apologize to Toshihide, so the entire mermaid clan was mobilized to capture Shiryu. In the end, Shiryu was still caught. At the same time, Toshihide arrived in the sea. He didn't know where Shiryu was, so he could only come here to play the piano. Toshihide's beautiful piano music drifted through the depths of the sea. It was both lonely and beautiful. It was also the first time the mermaids had ever heard music. They were unconsciously drawn into it. All of them became Toshihide's fans. It wasn't until Toshihide opened his eyes that he realized so many mermaids had suddenly appeared before him. This time, he wasn't afraid. Because he saw Shiryu, he kept playing the piano, and once again, his mother appeared in his mind. This time, he finally saw his mother's face clearly. When Toshihide reached the limit of holding his breath, the mermaid clan's village chief immediately swam over. She began giving Toshihide mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Shiryu was stunned, but the village chief was completely captivated by Toshihide. She even confessed her feelings on the spot. Meanwhile, the other mermaids were also attracted to Toshihide. All of them wanted to give Toshihide mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but Shiryu rushed over first. Just like that, with the mermaids supplying him with air, Toshihide played the piano all night at the bottom of the sea. After returning home, his father scolded him for the first time, and Toshihide promised that he would never skip school again.
Eat